So today's video is going to be similar to the last video that I've uploaded on this channel. If you know, it was also a remake. It was also a video about the game that was remade, just the Dead Space game. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Resident Evil 4 remake. And I think it's really, for starters, I think it's really a cool thing that game developers are pushing out remakes of their previous games more and more and more. Because let's say you have a game like this game as an example, you play this game on PS3 and you really enjoyed it. Imagine having to get the same game with the same good story on a next gen console with enhanced graphics, better gaming quality and stuff like that. So I think it's really a good thing that the game developers are pushing to like make new remakes of their old games. And especially with the developers for the Resident Evil developers, I don't see it happening much with really other gaming developers. But with the Resident Evil developers, I see that they're really consistent in uploading and making remakes of games. Because if you know the previous remakes in the last 4 years, I think they had two remakes, and this game, the Resident Evil 4, is going to be the third remake in the last 4 years. Because in 2019 there was a remake for the Resident Evil 2. Then the year after that, in 2020, there was a remake for Resident Evil 3. It's really something nice to see that the game developers really care about their fans and the people that play their games. Because other gaming companies, you don't really see them. They can make some remakes, but to really be consistent in remaking games, you don't really see that happening. So I'm happy to see that the game developers of Resident Evil are doing this. Even though when this game came out on the previous gen consoles, unlike the PS3, I never really used to play this game because I don't know, I just never really used to play games like this. I used to play more of the less popular games, you could say. But now, with also another good thing about the remakes, now that they're remaking this game, people that weren't able to play it on like PS3 or PS2, they'll be able to play it now on even a better console, PS4, PS5. So that is more or less why I think it's really a good idea that the game developers are remaking their games. Let's talk more about the game itself, when it will be coming out, and the story and stuff like that. So the Resident Evil 4 remake, the original game came out in 2005, but now the remake version is going to be coming out in March 2023 on the 24th. Basically on the 24th of March 2023, which is 2 days after my birthday, surprisingly. And this game, unlike the Dead Space game, because if you watch my previous video speaking about the Dead Space game, the Dead Space game will only be on the next gen consoles like the PlayStation 5 and the latest Xbox. I don't really know what it is, because you know I'm a PlayStation type of guy. But with the Resident Evil 4 remake, the gaming developers really did a good thing, because they made it on the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series S, and the Xbox Series X. Both of the on the previous gen and on sort of the next gen consoles. So that's a cool thing. The story of this game is basically of the main character, who is Agent Leon Kennedy, is on a mission to rescue the president's daughter from a Spanish, basically like a cult sort of thing, you could say. That's like a survival horror game type of story. So that's basically more or less the story of this game summarized. I never really went into deep because it would be like spoilers for the game. But yeah, as I was saying, game developers releasing remakes of their games are cool thing. I just wish more of the other developers of games could push out more remakes. Like personally for me, if I would get a game to be remade, or like a PS3 game to be remade, it would be the Resistance 2 game, because that game was it was ahead of its time when it came out on PS3, and to have such a good game, personally my favorite game, and to have it on a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, that would be really something nice for me. But seeing that the Resident Evil 4 remakes coming out, that's nice. I see also Resident Evil not really making new games. The last new game they made, I think, was the Resident Evil Village game. Ever since then, it's just been remakes. 2019 it was a Resident Evil remake. 2020 it was a Resident Evil remake. Then 2021, I think that's when Resident Evil Village came out. And now in 2020, next year, is when the Resident Evil 4 remakes coming out. So I think maybe they just too lazy to make new games. So they're just deciding to like better their previous games, which isn't a bad thing in my opinion. Something cool to have. But basically, yeah, that's more or less everything that I wanted to speak about in this video. I think this is where we're going to end the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, subscribe with notifications on because I'm always uploading latest gaming content, and I'm going to be uploading some gameplay for God of War Ragnarok when it comes out. And also for this game, of course, when it comes out, I'm also going to be uploading a lot of gameplay videos. So make sure you stay tuned. And I'm not sure. I think I'm not sure if that's all that I wanted to say. Yeah, just yeah. I think that's all for the video. Yeah, peace.